Yeah, you go ahead and pay for it.
Ho! Oh boy, here we go, baby.
Welcome to Bloomers in the Garden. I'm Len Schroeder.
And I'm Julio Zamora.
And this past Thursday, it was Johnny Appleseed Day. In our first segment, we're going to tell you whether he was a real person or just a myth.
We're also going to discuss this warm, dry stretch of weather we've been having.
And after that, it's an update on the spotted lanternfly invasion.
In our fourth segment, a listener texted the hotline about his lawn.
In our last segment, a listener is having trouble growing ground cover on a slope.
So stay tuned, and we'll be back in the garden after these short messages.
Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com. Does your garden have planting insurance? It can now with Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma. It's the ultimate starter plant food. The secret is a special blend of natural organic plant food, beneficial microbes, and mycorrhizal fungi. The result? Plants grow faster, roots grow deeper, flowers and vegetables flourish. Best of all, every Espoma product is safe for people, pets, and the planet. Visit espoma.com for a retailer near you. Biotone Starter Plus from Espoma, a natural in the garden since 1929. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Well, welcome back, folks, to Bloomers in the Garden. And this past Thursday was Johnny Appleseed Day. So was Johnny Appleseed a real person then?
He absolutely was a real person.
Wow, how about that?
Yep, his name was John Chapman. And that he was born right around the Revolutionary War time, so 1774. His father was in the Revolutionary War with George Washington. He served under George Washington.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, his mother died shortly after the Declaration of Independence was signed.
Wow.
And kind of sadly, where this is kind of where I think he's become a little bit of a loner.
Okay.
Where when his father got remarried, they had 10 children.
Oh, boy.
So it was really, it was kind of, I guess, lonely for him. So he kind of became a little bit of a vagabond.
Wow. How about that?
Yep. What did you find out?
Well, he left his family and went out west. Okay.
Right. And west during those days is like Ohio.
Yeah.
Again,
right.
guys, we're going back in time.
Yeah.
We're going back to right around the Revolutionary.
Right. No cars.
Again, they had Thomas Jefferson did not deal the Louisiana Purchase. Yeah. That was not done with France.
Right.
So again, the west boundary of our country was in that Ohio Valley.
Right.
So it says, and legend has it, that he was part of a religious sect, which was a Christian sect.
Christian sect, yeah.
But was a little bit different than, say, the churches you and I go to, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Right.
A little bit. Yeah.
Right. Where how is it? Like, I believe subdue the earth. I believe
Right.
the
Sure.
tenets of our faith,
Mm-hmm.
but they were a little so
kind of strict in a way that they had to
they just didn't want to hurt anything.
anything. Yeah.
Mosquitoes, insects, animals.
Mhm.
Mostly a vegetarian.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's the first one, huh?
Well, I don't know. I think that it was just, again, it was
About
just
that.
the way that, what was the name of that church, Zach? Julio?
Swedenborg.
Swedenborg.
Yeah. Swedenborgian.
Do you know that? Do you know any history behind it?
Not really about this gentleman, no.
No, that with that group, also known as the New Church, was established pretty late. It was 1787, so it's not like it's an old like
Yeah.
Methodist or Quakers
Sure.
where it's been around for hundreds of years. The church forbid its members from harming any of God's creatures. And he became he was meat is murder.
Oh, wow.
Now, I don't know if I honestly, during that time, I don't think he said that. But again, he was a vocal animal rights activist and a vegetarian, refused grafting.
Crafty, yeah.
He refused grafting apple trees. Now, any of you growers of apple trees know that a lot of them are grafted,
Yeah.
believing that the growing technique physically hurt the source plants.
Wow.
So that's how deep his faith was.
Right.
And that's what made him kind of odd, but that's what made him a great horticulturist.
That's right. Yep.
So what made him Johnny Appleseed, though?
He collected seeds, apple seeds.
From cider mills,
That's
right?
Cider mills, yeah.
So after the apples were pressed, he would collect the seeds,
Yeah.
and it wasn't so much that he planted them on his merry way.
Yeah.
He was a shrewd businessman.
Yes, he was.
He planted orchards
Orchards all over.
and then would sell the plants
Yeah.
in the ground to people, as well as selling seedlings and other things.
Yeah.
But at the time of his death, he had over 1,200 acres
Wow.
that he gave
Gave
to his sister.
Sister, yeah. Is that something?
That's pretty
Quite a
crazy.
businessman, huh?
Yeah.
Salesman,
Yep.
businessman.
Died in 1845,
Yeah.
and like we said, he was a rich man.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that church that he belonged to, it was more of a not a vow of poverty so much, but although historically, it's that he walked around, his clothes were like threadbare,
That's
and
right.
that he would take donations for his clothes, and that's
is that funny?
and just use them until they really wore out.
Yeah. You know who he reminds me of? John the Baptist. Remember? He was all in those funny clothing.
That's true. Eating grasshoppers.
That's right.
There actually is still a tree from Johnny Appleseed
look at
that he had planted. It's over 100 and something years old. I mean,
Wow.
it's I think it's in Indiana, either Indiana or Ohio.
But he came back to the East Coast, didn't he? For a while there.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania, because that's where his family was from. That's where the
Right.
family farm was
Started.
from. But
From this area. Huh.
that's right. And he didn't always want to get paid in money.
Yeah.
He
That's
wanted
something, huh?
he wanted to trade
Yeah.
and do things that way.
Right.
But he didn't really stay in one place.
Kept moving.
Yep, kept
coming
moving
around.
Stayed
Yep.
in like basic structures. There was one thing that I read that he was actually versed in many of the dialects of the Native Americans,
No kidding.
and
Wow.
that
Ooh.
I mean, I think sometimes where they say in lore that he wore a pot on his head, but that is
That's a
not
little-
likely, because again, he was stripped down
Right.
walking the whole way, but he didn't wear shoes.
No.
The bottom of his feet were thick, and because he could walk anywhere, even in the winter.
I mean, figured that one out, huh? Whew.
Yep.
Tough guy.
I guess. My feet hurt at the end of the day, and I've got shoes on all day.
Oh my goodness.
But again, it's I don't know if there are any Swedenborgs around anymore. But
no, I don't know.
I don't
Could
know.
be.
Maybe they're in the orchard business. We don't
Yeah,
really,
they are.
we don't really realize it.
That's right.
But Johnny Appleseed was a real person.
Yes, he was.
A real person. So any of you, if you are growing any of the varieties like Golden Delicious, Golden Delicious comes directly from his work with apples. And most of them that he actually didn't sell varieties of apples that were sweet to eat like a Golden Delicious.
Yeah,
he was selling them to go and to be booze.
Ooh.
Apple heart. Everybody who's drinking hard, it's very chic now. Hard apple cider. Well, actually, hard seltzer now is taking over. I think hard apple cider. But hard apple cider is what he was selling. Those trees were made for that.
Right. How about that? He's ahead of his time.
Absolutely he was. Absolutely was. A little weird guy that was.
Yeah, who is this guy, right?
But he was smart. Smart.
And this was on your calendar, huh, Len? Was it?
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
Apple.
It is. I can remember learning about Johnny Appleseed, but I always thought it was a folklore. It wasn't, like real. Paul Bunyan.
Right.
And Babe.
Babe.
Did you know Paul Bunyan? Babe was a blue ox.
Blue ox, yeah.
All right. We're getting off topic. All right. We're going to be back in the garden right after these messages. Is your yard and landscape being destroyed by nuisance animal pests? If so, Bonide has a product to solve that problem. Repelzol is an all-natural repellent that works on deer, rabbits, skunks, squirrels, chipmunks, raccoons, and many other nuisance animals. It stays effective for up to 2 months. The all-natural ingredients in Repelzol use smell, taste, and irritation to keep animals away. Unlike other repellents, Repelzol has no unpleasant odor. Repelzol natural formula can be applied to trees, shrubs, perennials, and around edible crops. It also works to prevent animals from chewing on fences and structures. Repelzol is so effective that your satisfaction is guaranteed. Repelzol is available in a concentrate, ready-to-use, and ready-to-spray liquid formulations, and in an easy-to-use granule in a 3-pound shaker and a 6-pound bag for spreader applications. Bonide products are family-made in America. Look for Repelzol products at these fine stores. Aiken Back Garden Center, Pottstown, PA. Westchester Agway, Westchester, PA. Pickering Valley Feed and Farm, Exton, PA.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center for the best selection of summer flowering perennials anywhere. Coneflowers in colors as vast as the rainbow. Reblooming daylilies in all the best varieties. Giant hardy hibiscus with flowers that measure 12 inches across. Make sure to visit our water garden department. Fish plants and water treatments that will keep your pond beautiful and crystal clear. Thinking about a new filter, UV, or water feature? Bloomers has them all in stock. Need to replace that sterilizer bulb? Bloomers carries a wide selection to match your model UV. Fall decorations are starting to roll in. Wind chimes, flags, and more. Bloomers has been selected the best of the best garden center by South Jersey Magazine. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township today. Just 30 minutes from Philadelphia. Find more information at bloomers.com. That's bloomers.com.
Well, Julio, we were talking again,
Yes,
and I know. I think you could be a mythical man, the Julio, the perennial man.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow, that'd be great.
You're watering the perennials, huh?
Oh, yes.
It is very, very dry.
Very dry.
We haven't had rain, a substantial rain, for almost 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
You know?
At least.
I looked at the 10-day forecast, and it's, at least for the next week, we're still in the 80s.
Still in the 80s, wow.
It is very hot. So,
yeah, very.
You know, make sure, even though you see some of your trees going dormant, the roots are active, and right now the plants, so that's what they want to be doing. They want to be
yeah.
building roots,
Right.
but they're dry and the soil is dry. I
Right.
mean, my lawn is
Brown.
no, it's not brown.
Mine is.
Yours is brown.
Yeah, I guess it's right?
Yeah. No, it's probably green. It's always
Look,
probably
it's
loving
still
it.
green.
But
Yeah. Yeah.
my lawn is mostly fescue, and I've
Fescue.
got that Kalunga
Oh,
grass.
got the kalinga going.
Oh my gosh, that is the worst.
Yeah.
Right now, if anybody out there has got their grass and it's showing these like little tiny, like look like fuzzball,
Balls.
they're seed pods on the top,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a type of sedum,
Yeah.
and that they start coming down, and they start turning. It actually turns like a brownish color.
Oh.
You know, it looks good, and all of a sudden,
Boom.
it looks like you're being invaded by a new grass, but it's the same thing that's been in there, and it's a weed. I'm sorry to say
Yeah.
that you can control it
Right.
with a seed, a type of sedge control, like sedge ender. That works really well.
Good.
Um,
Good.
Honestly,
Uh-huh.
if it's so thick,
Wow.
Roundup,
Roundup. Yeah.
glyphosate, kill it
Boom.
all,
Kill it. Down to
kill
the
it
root.
all, and then go ahead and put down seed. You can put
Seed.
down seed the following
Seed.
week
Yeah.
and reseed and do
Yeah.
it that way.
Mm-hmm. No problem.
There are, it like nut sedge, there are little bulblets down there where it's a hard grass. It's hard to get rid
It's
of.
hard to get rid of. Yeah.
Yep.
It is not easy.
Yep, not easy, but it's so dry.
Oh. my
It's so
goodness.
dry.
Yeah.
Make sure you're continuing to water
Mm-hmm.
everything.
Everything. Yeah.
You may be giving up on some of your vegetables at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right.
you just maybe, peppers are maybe done by now.
Yeah, I think
Eggplant might be done by
Yeah.
now. Cucumbers are starting to
Slow up.
tail off, or
Yeah.
you haven't picked that last one, and it's all yellow,
It's
and
all yellow.
it looks like more of a pickle than
Yeah,
than a cucumber.
Uh,
But my advice to you is to go and clean all of that up, right?
Right.
Clean it all up.
Clean it all up.
Do they leave any leaves or anything whole, or
No,
take
I
it
like-
all up?
I clean everything.
So right down to the soil, right down to the soil, and then add a cover crop,
Mm-hmm. There you go.
right?
Mm-hmm.
A cover crop, what it will do is that it depends on what you're using. I mean, you could use a wheatgrass,
Right.
but the best thing is crimson clover.
Oh yeah.
That's a song, isn't it?
Crimson and clover.
Yeah,
Remember
that's
that,
a
yeah.
song anyway. But what that does is it has nitrogen fixed, that it actually takes nitrogen from the air
Wow.
and adds it back into the soil.
Into the soil. Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, anybody pollinators into pollinating,
Wow.
this will
Clover.
give a last shot
Yeah.
for different insects, like a lot of the bees that are still around.
Yeah.
But what it does is it will add that nitrogen back into your soil when you turn it over, or cut it down and turn it over in the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there are other types.
Oh, well,
Like we have one that's all clover, but we have one that's a blend.
Yep.
What do
Got a
you
blend? Yeah. I
what
got a
is it?
peas and oats. Huh.
Peas and oats.
Yeah. Yep. Soil builder.
How is it a soil builder?
Again, it does the same thing that you're talking
So
about.
the
Put
nitrogen?
nitrogen, yeah.
Nitrogen back into the
Nitrogen,
soil.
right in the soil again.
So
Yeah.
anybody who is organic gardening,
Mhm.
put a cover crop on. It will cut down also on the weeds that you get.
That's right.
It'll help the tilth in the soil.
Oh yeah.
And what is tilth, Julio? You're gonna test.
The tilth is like is at the top layer of the soil.
It's how well you
You're-
can like soft your soil
Softer.
is. It helps to loosen it,
Loosen it
keeping
up.
it loosened, and it basically all it's doing is adding organic matter. But it's adding organic matter with a kick because
Right.
it has that nitrogen that's in
Yeah.
there.
They call it green manure. Is that what they call it?
Green.
That's what it says here. Green manure on this little package.
I stuff like that drives me crazy because real green manure
Uh-huh.
is horse manure,
Horse manure.
that has been recently from a horse.
Oh.
And what happens? It can burn because as it decays, it heats up. So that's really, to me, that's what green
That's what
manure
green manure
is.
is.
But according to the package of seed that we're looking at, they're calling it green manure because it's a green plant. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. I'd hold off on planting bulbs though.
Oh yeah. Too
It's
hot.
just too hot.
Yeah, too hot.
It's too hot. I know we have a couple landscape jobs where we need some plants dug.
Right.
And normally by this time we can, we have enough water and rain that we can dig them out of the ground.
Sure.
Not now.
Yeah.
Not now. We need, a good soaking rain.
Oh.
If you're going to be transplanting any plants out there, make sure that you're watering and saturating that ground.
Right.
Honestly, I'd wait till we've got a stretch of a week where we've got weather that's in the 70s, where we have nighttime temperatures in the 50s.
50s? Okay.
Then that plant slows down on the top and it's still working on the roots, and it's safe to do.
Right.
And there are some plants you should not dig out of the ground at this time of the year, like birch trees. You shouldn't, get birch in containers and things that you're better off not transplanting them from a B&B situation.
Right. So no bulbs, right? No bulbs.
No bulbs. Hold off. Bulbs can take it. I mean, last year we planted those 7,000 bulbs in front of Bloomers, and that it was late October.
Yeah.
Maybe even November.
Oh.
It was late. The energy's already in that bulb. It's already in that bulb.
Already in there.
And the only thing you should be concerned about is that they're going to dry out on you.
Yeah.
But if you've got fresh bulbs and you've bought them from a garden center, and you did not buy them from Sam's Club, or you didn't buy them from somewhere that just treats it as a commodity, you know that those bulbs are going to be fresh and new. It's not that they've been in a warehouse for 6 months, and I don't think none of them have been 6 months. But
so quality,
but the
bulbs.
quality is at your independent garden center.
Right.
So that's what I would do.
That's good. That's good. We have some time.
Yeah, but water.
Water.
Yeah. You can still plant. But you have to supplement with water. You can put in a landscape. That's not a problem, but you have to supplement with water. You can put in your pansies. You can put in your mums. You can do all this. But remember, the soil is really dry.
That's right.
So make sure they get soaked afterwards. And it's got to be a good soaking that goes all the way down into the soil, 6 inches or more.
Sure.
Otherwise, you're just wasting time. You're keeping the dust down.
Right.
You need a water.
Yes. It's an ideal time to plant.
It is.
Ideal time.
Fall is for planting.
Right. So, like Len is saying, you got to water when you're planting.
That's right. That's right. All right. Everybody got that?
All right.
Get out there and plant.
Yes.
Make sure you water. Hold off on your bulbs. Right?
Right.
And put a cover crop after on your vegetable garden.
All right. Perfect.
It makes it look nice, too.
Right. Adds nitrogen, too.
That's it.
Yep.
No problem. All right. We'll be right back right after this break.
Stay tuned for the Bloomers Garden Minute. The Garden Minute is brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Philadelphia Garden Radio. Find us on the radio dial or on the web at bloomers.com.
This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden for the Garden Minute. The summertime, the flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, the garden is yielding its bounty. Yeah, but the weeds are growing and the bugs are feeding and breeding. Next year's crop of insects are laying eggs and the weeds are dropping seeds all over your lawn, landscape, and garden. Those insects plan to host a family reunion right in your yard next summer. The weeds are planning a reunion of their own if you don't control them now. Insects want multiple generation, weeds too. Taking care of today's insects and weeds means no descendants next year. Don't pass up this opportunity. Control next year's pests now. Get out to Bloomers or your local area independent garden center today for help getting those pests under control. Cancel that reunion and make your home and yard care even easier next year. This is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden for the Garden Minute, and we'll see you in the garden.
Today's Garden Minute was brought to you by Bloomers in the Garden, Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Also brought to you by BPG, the Fertilome people.
Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix with EcoPeat is the perfect ready-to-use potting mix for all your succulents. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix is a blend of sphagnum peat moss, perlite, and EcoPeat. EcoPeat is a natural wood fiber from peat bogs. When added to Fertilome peat moss, it produces a superior professional substrate with an exceptional ratio of air porosity and water holding capacity. Fertilome Succulent Potting Mix will ensure maximum drainage with ideal water retention. It's simply the best succulent mix on the market. Ask for Fertilome by name at your local garden center. Available at Daniel's Garden Center, Sumneytown Pike, Harleysville, Pennsylvania. Gasper's Home and Garden, 316 Tanyard Road, Richboro, PA. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Well, folks, we are back in the garden, and the spotted lanternfly is spreading to New Jersey. Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, boy.
I was in Ephrata, Pennsylvania, and I was picking
Right.
some stuff up from the warehouse there.
Okay.
They were all over the side of the building.
No.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was bad.
Bad.
It was bad.
Oh.
That they don't fly. People think that they fly, but they don't
don't.
fly. They what's the
They
see,
hop?
I have kids because
Oh.
you know the when Woody from Toy Story tells Buzz that he really doesn't fly, he like hops with style.
Hops. Is that what he does?
It's something like that. Anyway, that's what the spotted lanternfly does. It doesn't fly. It hops.
No.
It is.
hopper.
It is. It is.
Wow.
And it spreads its wings, and it like a flying squirrel. It kind of just it'll float.
How about that?
I was with my son. Hey, Carl, if you're listening.
There you
Maybe
go.
I'll force him to listen. Anyway, he was with me, and that I told him, kill it. He said, I'm not going to kill it. I said, no, kill it. This is a bad bug.
thing.
This is a bad bug.
Yeah.
And so when you try to step on it, the thing hops.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Can't catch it.
No, I caught it.
You caught it? Oh,
It's
good
dead.
job. All right.
One down.
One down.
It's one down.
There you go.
Listen, folks, the problem with the spotted lanternfly is not just that they eat crops and eat beneficial things. If you've ever had a patio or a even like furniture, like patio furniture, or a plant where it gets covered in this like soot, you know what it looks like.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like that. Everybody, I've got this mold all
Mold on
over,
it, yeah.
or that tree. It's a black soot, and it's called honeydew.
Honeydew.
And it is a nice word for saying insect poop, manure.
Manure.
There's other colorful words that I won't use.
Uh-huh.
And what happens is that this is the type of insect where it's not a chewing insect, where like on a beetle, you'll see the damage and you'll know.
Oh, yeah.
You know that this is a leaf hopper and that it sucks the juices
it.
out of the plant.
Wow.
And it goes from your plant into its stomach and then down all over your car, your patio furniture, your new pavers, your siding.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest damages that this thing does.
Right.
And we need to be vigilant in taking care of.
Yes, we do.
Getting rid of this
Yes.
insect is very important because it is dangerous to agriculture and horticulture because
time.
it will damage plants, but also homeowners will be dealing with this thing that is doing damage from that honeydew.
Right.
And it's not like you just spray it off with a hose. It's sticky.
Sticky, huh?
It coats it like it's a layer of spray paint.
How about that? Huh. So it's already spreading its way from Pennsylvania, in the surrounding area.
Yeah, it
Pennsylvania,
crossed the river into
across the
Jersey.
river already.
Yeah,
Right.
and there is a they call it a quarantine.
Quarantine,
and it's really like, for instance, when I saw it in Ephrata, I went and checked my load, checked my truck, made sure that there was nothing that was hanging on, because that's the thing. They have these little legs that will latch onto something
Onto your truck.
and drive with you
All the
back
way.
home. And I
All
don't
the
want it in Gloucester County.
Oh, no.
You know, it's there.
It's
I mean,
there,
I
yeah.
think people have seen it. To be honest with you, it's not in any mass like it was up there.
Yeah.
But it's coming.
It's coming. It's spreading.
It's coming.
Yes,
it's
it
in
is.
Hunterdon County. It's
Yeah.
in some of the northern counties of New
Counties,
Jersey.
yeah. Gloucester. It's even in Gloucester, I heard.
Well,
little
have
bit.
you seen it?
I've read it. Mhm.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's made it into our
It's made
county,
onto our
Camden
County, yes. It
Camden
has.
County. So this is And one of the problems with this insect is that like little kids would think that it's pretty.
That's right.
You know,
Right. Very pretty. Yes.
like like I always have this thing with cabbage looper,
Oh yeah.
white butterfly. Oh,
The
look
butterfly.
how
Yeah,
pretty
pretty it
butterfly.
is.
No, it isn't.
No.
Cabbage loopers are the worst.
That's right.
Wait till you see holes in your cabbage,
cabbage,
leaves, and that's that hovering white butterfly that are over your
Lord.
broccoli and cauliflower and all your cold crops. This is kind of like that, where
Right.
it has that red markings on as an adult now. We're talking about as adults. And right now what's happening, they're breeding and they're laying eggs. They're starting to lay eggs. What do the egg casings look like, Julio?
Well, they're going to be on the actual bark, and they're going to spread that grayish, like you're talking about, that grayish oozy stuff.
Oozy stuff?
Yeah, it looks like. And then
How would you, being that we're on radio,
right?
what are people looking for?
It's like a gray. It looks like a grayish, kind of spreaded.
Almost
spread-
like somebody
It's painted.
put their gum on it.
gum.
on it?
Yeah, it's like just like that. And the eggs are inside the they're little tiny little eggs.
Right. And
Black.
they're
like
protected
black,
in
protected
that.
in that.
And that's what we're looking for.
And you have to scrape it, okay, to get those eggs out of there into a little Ziploc bag.
Right.
All right. And
And
usually,
then what do you do?
well, you're supposed to put a little bit of alcohol in the bag, like the alcohol you have at home,
Right.
and you just pour a little bit in there to kill the eggs.
So take the egg casings and basically you're taking alcohol and killing it that way.
Yes, that's the way to do it. You have to kill them.
Yep.
You
Yep.
can't just put them in the bag and
Kill
let
the
it go.
adults. And one of the things, they're wanting to climb up the trees. So you can use tanglefoot.
Tanglefoot.
Right. Bonide has a really wide, and I thought this was pretty clever, that they have a wide, like 6-inch wide fly tape. You know, the kind that you see that hang down,
Right.
that only like an inch wide or what have you, and it's real sticky. They have one that's 6 inches wide, and you wrap your tree with it.
Oh, that's great.
And then that way, if they try to get under it or they try to get over it, they're stuck on that.
Wow.
And then you're collecting
collecting
them. This is war. It is a
war, yeah.
bad insect that came from Asia. Montgomery County seems to be like ground zero from where these things landed. They even have it, I think, nailed down to. I think when we talked with Emily Schwackhammer last year,
Right.
she had said that they think that it was on a pallet of stone.
Oh, wow.
It's amazing that they can do that.
It's amazing,
Folks.
isn't it?
Horticulture is science.
Yes, it is.
It is science. That where we need to be very vigilant. Even though these things are pretty, they need to be killed because they're not going to be pretty very long. They're just going to be this obnoxious pest that is ruining your siding or is eating crops.
Billions of dollars, right?
Yep. Yep. So get out there and get after it.
Get after it.
Get after it. And even in the spring, the when they're immature, they are black with white dots, very small, and that you need to spray. And if you need to spray with something, that there are different insecticides. If you go to, for instance, bonide.com and go onto their site,
Yep.
they have it. But here's something else. You need to report it. If you see it, you need to report it.
That's right.
Online, Penn, I think it's Penn State has a way to report it. If you just Google spotted lanternfly, it will give you instructions. You'll select on how to report spotted lanternfly. They need to keep track of where this thing is going. They need to know, is it going north? Is it going south? Is there some type of barrier that's preventing it from going someplace?
Yes.
And that way the scientists can work on a way to control it.
Right. They need to stop this.
Yep.
They need to stop it, so you need to be vigilant, like Len says. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. And New Jersey has the same thing. If you see it in New Jersey, you're asked to report it.
That's right.
They need to do the same thing.
Yeah, that's great.
Very important.
Yep.
Very important. So everybody, you have a place in this as well. So
we
make
do.
sure you do it.
Yep. There's a hotline also number if you want to call. So
What do you got? Well,
It's 1-833-223-2840. All right.
That's right. I'm laughing because it's bad bugs 0. That's
Is that what
great.
it said?
That's great.
That's great.
Again, that's New Jersey.
New Jersey, yep.
Even if you're reporting by accident to New Jersey, they will make sure that it gets to the right place. Actually, it's on the radar of not just New Jersey, not just Pennsylvania, but also USDA is active with it. Also, any of the forestry services,
Yes.
they want to know.
Yep.
It's a little bit up in the air of
yeah.
how much damage this will do.
Yeah, right now.
So, again, spotter and lanternfly, a bad bug.
Bad bug.
You guys control it, and you need to be vigilant. Let the agencies, the agriculture agencies know.
Right.
And all I can say is let's try to get this thing stopped.
Yeah, let's stop this.
That's it.
All right.
All right, we'll be back right after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Is your yard and landscape being destroyed by nuisance animal pests? If so, Bonide has a product to solve that problem. Repelzol is an all-natural repellent that works on deer, rabbits, skunks, squirrels, chipmunks, raccoons, and many other nuisance animals. It stays effective for up to 2 months. The all-natural ingredients in Repelzol use smell, taste, and irritation to keep animals away. Unlike other repellents, Repelzol has no unpleasant odor. Repelzol natural formula can be applied to trees, shrubs, perennials, and around edible crops. It also works to prevent animals from chewing on fences and structures. Repelzol is so effective that your satisfaction is guaranteed. Repelzol is available in a concentrate, ready-to-use, and ready-to-spray liquid formulations, and in an easy-to-use granule in a 3-pound shaker and a 6-pound bag for spreader applications. Bonide products are family-made in America. Look for Repelzol products at these fine stores. Animals and Gardens Unlimited, New Egypt, New Jersey. Bloomers Home and Garden Center, Sewell, Washington Township, New Jersey. Butterhoff's Farm and Home Supply, Egg Harbor City, New Jersey. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden. Well, welcome back to Bloomers in the Garden. During the break, I was talking to Brett. He came in. Brett, you said you saw the spotter and lanternfly here.
Yeah.
Right.
For like the last few weeks, maybe month now.
Right, and you've never seen him here before. And we're
I didn't know what you guys were
Balakinwood.
talking about until I saw your picture. I was like, oh, I know those bugs. They're literally out front of this building.
Right, and we're in the Balakinwood, the 555 building right outside of Philadelphia.
Wow.
And that, again, the insect, when its wings are closed, and we talk about leafhoppers. Leafhoppers are small. These are big.
Big, yeah.
They're like an inch, maybe an
yeah.
inch and a half. Their wings, when they're closed, and again, they don't fly, and most important, they don't bite.
They don't bite.
So if you grabbed one, it's not going to bite you.
No.
When they're closed, it's white speckle, or it's a white wing with black little spots on it, and it almost looks like a butterfly with its wings closed, but it's not. It is not. And do you see them anywhere, all over the place, Brett?
Parking lot, mostly.
Parking lot.
about
Once
that?
you walk out here, you'll see it.
Yeah, all right.
yeah.
You won't miss it.
I'll go hunt. I'll be
Yeah.
stepping on them.
Yeah. It
Step
might be-
on them.
Yeah.
Step
You
on
can-
them.
Yeah.
Spotter
really.
and lanternfly is serious. It was not here last year.
No, it wasn't.
It's now
here
here
now.
in Ballackinwood.
Yeah.
Um,
Under cars, they can go.
and
right?
that's what'll happen is they're hitchhikers. They'll jump on a bumper and they'll be across the river.
Yep,
They'll be
New Jersey,
they'll be
over,
all over the
Delaware,
place.
you
No,
name it.
and trucks. That's
Oh,
part
yeah.
of what the restrictions are in New Jersey, that they want you to check your load
before
to see if you have egg casings or see if you have the adults.
Right. What a mess.
See, and I mean, we're in the middle. We're right outside of Philadelphia.
That's right. We're in the city.
All right, everybody.
There you
Get
go.
bigger shoes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Listen, in this segment, we had a listener that John, he went and sent me a text. And let me just read what he had to say. I'm new to your radio program, but now a regular listener. Thank you, John.
Thank you, John.
Recently, you talked about the Jonathan Green 4-step versus the box store 4-step, and it hit a nerve because I made a huge error. This year, I missed step 2 by a week or two, and my acceptable lawn turned into 15,000 square feet of weeds, a weed farm. I applied step 3 at the correct time, but that just resulted in greener and faster growing weeds. Should I continue with the box step 4, or should I forget about it and start next spring with the Jonathan Green step 4 or 5-step?
Wow, great question. Great question.
Very, very good question.
Yes, it is.
You know, I'll tell you what, it's the thing that you probably have going on is that the second step, which is the weed and feed, is going to control most broadleaf weeds. But what probably happened is that when box stores create their own 4-step, so what they'll do is it may not have the longer fertilizing, so the fertilizer may peter out sooner, or the crabgrass control may be different. Like, for instance, Jonathan Green has dimension in it, and it will control crabgrass into its second or third leaf stage.
Right.
But the problem is, and we preach it all the time, a 4-step is not adequate to maintain your lawn.
No, it's not.
And that we preach, you need to put down another application of crabgrass control, because what's happening is you probably don't have broadleaf weeds, but you have crabgrass that has taken over because possibly that box store crabgrass control stopped working, and all of that other crabgrass, as the weather heated up or it got moisture down to a lower level and there were crabgrass seeds there, it encouraged it to grow. And now, like you said, you have a weed farm. So
That's
weed
what
farm.
happens,
So look, you can spray right now. There's Bonide again. We love Bonide because they have great technology. And when they have a product that controls broadleaves, weeds, and crabgrass, you can apply that now if you want, and then just apply your step 4. Don't bother having to keep it in your garage and never use it. Just use that. But the key is crabgrass is going to be dead when we have our next frost. Now, we talked about how warm it's been. That may not be till February, but
That's right. Oh, boy.
anyway, watch, we're going to have like 20 degrees next week.
Yeah, that's right.
But what happens is on the frost that it goes and it will kill the crabgrass. Crabgrass then drops its seed, and then that's what you're trying to prevent in the spring. You can control it with glyphosate. That is the active ingredient, and that means you're going to kill everything. If you have more than 50% weeds, that's what you need to do. Kill it all. Kill it all. And then go ahead and seed. I suggest using a slit seeder or a power seeder, and that puts it right in the ground.
Nice.
And then it comes up through it. But you have to do that a week after you spray the glyphosate. Okay. And then It depends if you have sun, shade, or what have you, but your local garden center is certainly going to be able to help you with that.
Yep.
Go to your local garden
center.
center.
Yes.
Your local independent garden center will guide you and give you the seed that you need to be successful.
Yep.
All right.
Good.
Anything to add, Julio?
No, that's perfect right there.
Right. And then next spring, you start all over
Mm-hmm.
with, and your base product, the Jonathan Green 4-step is
Green, yes.
excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And that you go and you use the other products as well that they have. That again, the Magical is now in
Magical,
there, and it's a
great.
Magical Plus, which is a combination of Love Your Soil and Magical, which is a great idea.
Great idea.
But you also need to do a second application of crabgrass control, usually in mid to late May, even early June, because that will continue that prevention of crabgrass that you often get when things really heat up.
That's right.
You get about 6 weeks control, maybe 8 weeks control for crabgrass. But if you put it down in March and the weather's just right,
Boom.
it's gone. Like or a tremendous amount of rain like we had this
we've
year,
had, a
because
lot of
that's
rain.
how it releases. A lot
That's
of
right.
it releases with rain, and then all of a sudden it's all gone.
It's gone. Yep. Another thing I like to do is check your pH levels. Okay.
Absolutely.
Always do that.
Yep. Come on in and get your pH level
for
test.
free.
Come
We
in
do it at
Bloomers.
Bloomers.
So
Yep.
we know that you live close enough by that you can bring us a soil sample.
That's right.
All right.
All right.
Next
Great.
segment coming up.
Wow.
We've got a caller.
Uh-huh. Oh,
And-
wow.
Yeah, we'll take a listen.
Great.
Be right back after this.
Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center for the best selection of summer flowering perennials anywhere. Coneflowers in colors as vast as the rainbow. Reblooming daylilies in all the best varieties. Giant hardy hibiscus with flowers that measure 12 inches across. Make sure to visit our water garden department. Fish plants and water treatments that will keep your pond beautiful and crystal clear. Thinking about a new filter, UV, or water feature? Bloomers has them all in stock. Need to replace that sterilizer bulb? Bloomers carries a wide selection to match your model UV. Fall decorations are starting to roll in. Wind chimes, flags, and more. Bloomers has been selected the best of the best garden center by South Jersey Magazine. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township today. Just 30 minutes from Philadelphia. Find more information at bloomers.com. That's bloomers.com.
Tired of pale green, weedy results from four-step lawn programs? That's because they don't do anything for the soil. The New American Lawn four-step program feeds the lawn and the soil. Magical Plus, a unique soil food that adjusts soil pH, loosens hard soil, and feeds soil microbes, is the key difference. Without the right soil conditions, you'll never enjoy a great lawn. Competitive programs simply don't match up. So feed your lawn and your soil with the New American Lawn four-step program by Jonathan Green.
Jonathan Green products can be found at these fine stores. Action Hardware, Wilmington, Delaware. Hockessin Hardware, Hockessin, Delaware. Gasper's Garden Center, Richboro, Pennsylvania.
Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
Folks, we're back in the garden, and a listener called and was having a problem getting a ground cover to take on his slope. It was like 30 degrees. So take a listen to his question from the hotline.
Go ahead, got a question. I got a 30-degree slope by the front of my lawn down to the street, so I don't want to cut that with the mowers. So I'm trying to grow a ground cover on it, and I've been trying to get the ivy to go across, and I just can't get half of it covered. Tried different things, put plugs in, and I wonder what can I do to get it to take and go?
Yeah. It's 30-degree slope is steep. And first of all, he had some ivy that he got growing when we
That's
talked with him, right?
That's right. Yeah.
And what happens when you try to water on a slope that's steep, that the water just runs off, and when you think that you're getting penetration into the soil, what you're actually doing is getting runoff. And it's not absorbing into the soil.
So everything's drying out.
It's drying out and never got wet in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, it's had to rely on rain. Maybe that first grouping of ivy that took, he planted just at the right time. It got plenty of rain, and it grew deep enough to where it was below that drought level.
Great.
But what did you suggest when you talked to him?
Yeah.
You suggested mountain pinks, right?
Mountain pinks, yeah. Great.
Everybody
great
thinks of mountain pinks as just a spring flower, but man, it makes a gorgeous ground cover.
It does. Beautiful green, dark green.
And mountain pinks, this is one of those regional things where, you know, some people call them mountain pinks. That's a common name, but it is a variety of creeping phlox.
Yeah.
Creeping phlox.
Yeah, gorgeous.
And it is a ground cover. It does not need to get mowed. It doesn't need any of that.
Nothing.
But it is stunning in the spring when you have a big area where it's in full bloom, and it holds the soil.
It does. Yeah.
And it will reroot as it grows, and it will spread.
Spread, yeah.
But the key is you got to keep it watered for one.
Yeah.
Like, what do you recommend to do that?
Well, I always love the soaker hose that we always have.
Right, and this isn't, you know, soaker hoses today, they're more of that they ooze water from them. It's not that they're a hose where it's flat and it puts water up in the air. That's maybe from the 50s.
From the old days.
But with this, it really goes nice and slow.
Oh, yeah.
And it penetrates the soil without causing runoff.
That's great.
Because if you have runoff, all of a sudden you're running off your soil as well.
That's
so you don't want to do that.
No, you don't.
So you snake a soaker hose through your planting.
That's right.
And then you can actually get good water.
Good water.
And those plants will take off. But there's other plants to recommend.
That's right.
Blue rug junipers.
Excellent right there. That's the one I think, you know, would be really good to put in there.
Blue rug junipers, they'll get to be, they'll cover at 6 foot.
6 foot at least diameter.
Yeah. Other things are sedum.
Sedums, yeah, they're great.
The ground cover sedums.
Sedums are great.
There's a lot of different varieties, and they do flower, but there's also foliage colors that like there's that Ogon variety. That's a bright yellow, and it's a good yellow. It's not like a sickly yellow. Like there's some plants that have yellow. It's like remember they first came out with that knockout yellow, knockout rose that was yellow, and it looked like yellow leaves more than it looked like a flower. All right, and we're getting off track. But ground covers again, there's great opportunities in shrubs. Don't just think about ivy and pachysandra and ajuga.
Same ones, yeah.
Cotoneaster.
Cotoneaster, yeah, another great
excellent plant.
Excellent, yeah.
Flowers for a long time.
That's right.
But also gets a berry, a red berry in the fall. Great. Birds like it. It's you'll like it, and it just will take over that area. But all of them are going to require water.
That's right. Use your soaker hose. Okay, get that soaker hose down, and you can always put a little mulch if you like on top of it.
Yep.
If you don't want to see the hose.
I mean, but the mulch, the problem with the mulch is that's going to run when it rains.
That's right, yeah. You're right on that.
So it's
just keep it.
You've got to keep the weeds out, too. You got to leave the areas open for those plants to fill in. And you could do that with some preen, but again, you've got to make it that it's watered in. You're really concerned about runoff, and you're not going to get the benefit to as much until those plants are established. Like fertilizer will be trapped within the plant itself and be able to feed the plant. But if you broadcast it on that slope, the majority of it's going to end up in the street.
Down, yeah.
You know, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. So
waste.
Again, choices, mountain pinks we talked about as being the number one choice for when you discussed it with the caller. Right. But again, there's a whole bunch of different things. Yeah. We don't only have the varieties of pachysandra and ivy.
That's right.
But they would work.
They should.
If they were watered.
That's right.
If they were watered.
That's right.
All right. We'll be
There
right
you go,
back
folks.
right after this.
Bloomers in the Garden is brought to you each week by Bloomers Home and Garden Center. Bloomers is an award-winning garden center just 20 minutes from Philadelphia. Bloomers has been providing expert advice turning brown thumbs green for over 30 years. At Bloomers, we want you to ask us every question, even if you think it's silly. We share information in a friendly, non-judgmental way that is meant to teach and spread the joy of gardening. Visit Bloomers Home and Garden Center in Washington Township, Gloucester County. For directions, go to bloomers.com, and we'll see you in the garden.
Bloomers in the Garden is an hour-long gardening radio program that airs to over 6 million residents throughout the Delaware Valley. From Allentown to Wilmington, from the Main Line to the Jersey Shore, Bloomers in the Garden can be heard twice each Saturday morning, first at 8 a.m. on 860 WWDB and again at 9 on 610 a.m. ESPN Radio. Each episode of Bloomers in the Garden will be broadcast on Bloomers' Facebook page and available as a podcast on bloomersinthegarden.com. Bloomers in the Garden is adding sponsors. Share your message to our large, diverse group of listeners. Commercials and segment sponsorships are available at incredibly affordable prices. Let Bloomers in the Garden get your message out to one of the largest and most diverse populations in the country. If you're interested in joining us in the garden, please visit bloomersinthegarden.com or email len@bloomers.com. Hi, this is Len Schroeder from Bloomers in the Garden. Do you have a landscape, garden, or plant question? If so, call or text us using the Bloomers in the Garden hotline. Dial 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. Don't be shy. We want to hear from you. Call or text us and let us know what problems you're facing. Let us know how we're doing. Call or text 609-685-1880. If we use your comment on the air, we'll send you a free Bloomers t-shirt. Call or text us at 609-685-1880. That's 609-685-1880. And we'll see you in the garden.
See me and Julio down by the schoolyard.
Wow, Julio, another day.
Oh, boy.
Another day.
Great day.
Bloomers in the Garden. But to tell you what, the forecast is saying that it's going to be 80s for the next week. And right now, I'd love to see a good deluge rainstorm.
Oh, yeah, especially at night when I'm sleeping.
There you go.
And, boy, I can't say enough about this spotted lanternfly.
Right.
We need to keep vigilant about this little guy. He's not little. He's about an inch.
Right.
So
Mass.
please report it, okay? Step on it and report it.
That's right. Right. And again, think about this. These are giant leaf hoppers like aphids. Like, think about if aphids were like 2 inches long and
Sure.
could fly, 6 to 10 feet
goodness.
away.
Oh,
Nasty.
nasty is.
And listen, with this warm weather, the grubs are still fattening up for winter.
Yes, they are.
Put down an insecticide as soon as you can.
Right. So remember, even though it's hot, it's still planting time. So
That's
get
right.
out there and plant, please.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Brett.
Thank you, Brett.
Great job today. And we'll see you in the garden.
We'll see you in the garden.
The first person to survive Alzheimer's disease is out there. They might even be listening to this right now. Maybe they're waiting for the traffic light to change. Maybe they're daydreaming about a trip they've planned with their family. Maybe they're in a toddler seat, strapped in, and wondering if they're almost home. That first survivor is out there, and they're going to hold on to everything the disease steals away. And the Alzheimer's Association is going to make it happen by funding research, advancing public policy, and spurring scientific breakthroughs, and by providing local support right now to those living with the disease and their caregivers, we're easing the burden for all those facing it until we accomplish our goal. Alzheimer's disease has devastated millions of lives, but that's all going to change when we reach the first survivor. But we won't get there without you. Visit alz.org to join the fight.